what did you think of that MFer Donald Trump tweeting that you're a boring actor who does too many TV commercials?
Oh my God, did he tweet that?
Yeah, he did.
What was your reaction to that?
I look at my bank account, I laugh.
In 2016, Donald Trump tweeted that he didn't know Samuel L. Jackson, had never played golf with him, thought he did too many commercials, called him boring. Samuel L. Jackson's response was 3 words. He looked at his bank account and laughed. No rant, no press conference, no viral clapback. Just a man sitting on a late-night couch, calm, composed, and completely unbothered, letting the contradiction speak for itself. Because here's the thing about that tweet. The man who said he didn't know Samuel L. Jackson somehow knew enough to insult him specifically, knew his commercial work, had an opinion about his career, and then 6 hours later, in a follow-up tweet, somehow knew enough about Jackson's golf game to critique his swing and challenge him to a charity match. You don't know someone that precisely. This story is not really about golf. It is not really about a Twitter beef between a celebrity and a politician. It is about something Samuel L. Jackson understood that most people missed. That truth does not need volume. It just needs time. And that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do when someone lies about you is simply let the cameras keep rolling. Today we go through the full documented story. The golf game, the tweets, the corroboration, the receipts, and what this moment reveals about a pattern that goes well beyond a missed shot into a lake at Trump National. Everything in this video is on the public record. Let's get into it. To understand why this story matters, you have to understand how it started. Because it didn't start with Samuel L. Jackson attacking Donald Trump. It started with a journalist asking Jackson a question on late-night television. A simple question. Had he met Trump? Had he played golf with him? Jackson's answer was not a broadside. It was not a prepared statement. It was a man recounting a specific memory with specific details.
Claim right here you have met him.
Yeah, I met him a lot.
You've played golf with him.
I played golf with him.
He claims...
I actually played golf with him with Anthony Anderson one day.
Gotcha.
And we were all playing together, and we clearly saw him hook a ball into a lake at Trump National in Jersey. And his caddy told him he found it.
Now, was the caddy soaking wet when he said this?
No, he was not. Yeah, he just took off running, and next thing you know, I got it, Mr. Trump! And you're like, oh, did you see a splash?
The audience laughed. Jackson didn't. Because he wasn't telling a joke. He was describing what he saw. When the host asked if the caddy was soaking wet when he produced the ball, Jackson said no. The caddy had just taken off running and come back with the ball that had just gone into the lake moments before. One data point. Specific. Verifiable in the sense that Jackson was there, and described it with the confidence of a man telling you what his own eyes witnessed. Then Trump tweeted. On a specific day in 2016, Donald Trump posted a tweet stating, and these are his documented words, "I don't know Samuel L. Jackson to the best of my knowledge, haven't played golf with him, and think he does too many TV commercials. Boring. Not a fan." That tweet has 3 components. I don't know him, haven't played golf with him, he does too many commercials, and he's boring. Now think about that combination for a moment. If you genuinely do not know someone, if they are genuinely a stranger to you, you do not have an opinion about their commercial work. You do not have a characterization of their personality. You do not know enough about them to call them boring. The tweet itself contradicted its own premise. You cannot simultaneously not know someone and have that many specific opinions about them. Then, approximately 6 hours later, Trump posted a follow-up. This time, he accused Jackson of cheating at golf, critiqued his swing, said he had won many club championships, and challenged Jackson to a charity match.
Moments ago, Trump actually took to Twitter and has responded. So here you go. He says, quote, "I don't cheat at golf, but Samuel L. Jackson cheats with his game. He has no choice. And stop doing commercials." Moments later, quote, "Don't like Samuel L. Jackson's golf swing. Not athletic. I've won many club championships. Play him for charity."
6 hours. Between claiming not to know someone and knowing enough about their golf game to critique it specifically and challenge them publicly. Samuel L. Jackson's response to the contradiction was to pull out a bill, an actual itemized bill from Trump National. a physical receipt placing him at Trump's property. He held it up on camera.
Oh, this. Let me see. Can we get this on camera? Would that be a bill from Trump National? I think it is.
Why do you think he's saying?
I don't know. I don't care. You know, come on. He has to say whatever he has to say. He has to say. You know.
No argument, no raised voice, just a document. One person saying something happened is an account. Two people saying it happened is corroboration. Three is testimony. Jackson did not need to repeat himself. Other people did it for him. Anthony Anderson, who was present at the golf game Jackson described, went on record confirming the story. He and Jackson had played together with Trump at Trump's course. The details matched. The memory was consistent.
Sam Jackson was on the show.
Yes.
Sam Jackson got into a little Twitter beef with Donald Trump. Donald Trump claimed that he had never golfed with Sam Jackson. He wrote, "I don't know Samuel L. Jackson. To the best of my, there you go. To the best of my knowledge, haven't played golf with him and think he does too many TV commercials. Boring, not a fan." You came to the defense of Sam Jackson immediately. You tweeted right here, "Come on, Donald Trump, you played golf with Samuel Jackson and me as well. We also had lunch together. Shrimp and hot dogs sound familiar."
Yeah.
So you did golf. The three of you golfed together.
We golfed together at Trump's course in Bedminster and had a great time.
That is not a detail someone invents when they are fabricating a story. That is the specific, slightly absurd detail that sticks in your memory because it actually happened. Now you have two named, documented individuals, Jackson and Anderson, describing the same event with consistent details, on the record, publicly, against a single tweet claiming the event never happened. Then 3 years later, the journalists arrived. In 2019, 3 years after Trump's tweets about Samuel L. Jackson, a book was published called Commander-in-Cheat. It was a documented journalistic investigation into Donald Trump's golf game, and specifically into his documented habit of cheating on the course. Golf professionals were interviewed, club members were quoted, former caddies went on record. People who had played with Trump across decades described consistent, specific behavior, moving balls from bad lies, improving his score, claiming victories in tournaments that records did not support. This was not online gossip. This was reported journalism with named sources and documented accounts.
One thing in common, we are both terrible golfers. Because there's a new tell-all book about the president called Commander-in-Cheat: How Golf Explains Trump. He cheats at the highest level. He cheats when people are watching, and he cheats when they aren't. He cheats whether you like it or not.
Jackson's account, dismissed as celebrity beef, brushed off as late-night entertainment, was independently corroborated by a systematic journalistic investigation that arrived 3 years later and found exactly the same pattern Jackson had described from personal experience. His story didn't change. Reality caught up to it. Now let's zoom out. Because this story is not really about golf. Golf is the entry point. The missed shot into the lake. The caddy who materialized a dry ball from a water hazard. The specific, slightly absurd memory that Jackson carried for years and recounted when asked. But what Samuel L. Jackson was describing, and what the subsequent corroboration and journalism confirmed, is a pattern. A consistent, documented way of operating that goes well beyond a single round of golf at Trump National. Move the ball. Deny it happened. Attack anyone who noticed. That three-step pattern appears in the golf story. It appears in the tweet that denied knowing someone the tweet itself proved he knew. It appears in the follow-up tweets that attacked Jackson's game, which you cannot credibly do if you have never played with someone. Jackson understood something that most people who engage in public disputes miss. When someone lies about you, especially someone with a large platform and a loud voice, the instinct is to match their volume, to argue back, to flood the zone with your own version of events. Jackson did none of that. He sat on a late-night couch and answered a question honestly. He pulled out a receipt. He let Anthony Anderson confirm the story on his own. He let the book arrive 3 years later and find the same pattern independently. He never raised his voice. He never chased the outrage. He never needed to.
One quick question about a little kerfuffle that you and Donald Trump are in. I just wanted to know Are you surprised that this has become a thing in the press?
Is it a thing in the press? No, it's not. Tell me it's not. I mean, really? I mean, out of all the things that need to be dealt with presidentially, he's worried about me saying that he cheats at golf? Or, that he doesn't really know me? Is that what the deal is? Wow, that's awful. Let me see. Let me fix that. Let me find something that might help me with that. This. Let me see. Can we get this on camera? Would that be a bill from Trump National? I think it is.
Why do you think he's saying?
I don't know. I don't care. You know, come on. He has to say whatever he has to say. He has to say. You know, and it's one of those interesting things that he called me one day to play golf, not to play with him, but to play with a friend of his. And I went to play with that friend of his, and that friend of his turned out to be Bill Clinton. So it's like that. So I'm sure he'll lie about that also and say that he never did that. But I'm sure President Clinton can either verify it or ignore it, as he probably should.
That moment, the quiet production of a physical document while maintaining complete composure, is a masterclass in something Jackson has understood his entire career. Truth does not need volume. It needs time and receipts. There is something worth sitting with in how Samuel L. Jackson handled this entire situation. He is one of the most successful actors in American film history. His films have grossed more at the global box office than those of virtually any other actor alive. He has the platform, the resources, and the public profile to engage in exactly the kind of loud, sustained public dispute that social media rewards and amplifies. He chose not to. He answered a question honestly. He held up a receipt. He let the record correct itself over time. And in doing so, he demonstrated something that gets lost in an era of constant noise and instant reaction. The most powerful response to a lie is not a louder lie or a louder truth. It is a quiet, documented, consistent truth, delivered without anger, without ego, and without any apparent need for immediate vindication. The vindication came anyway, 3 years later, in a book, with named sources, confirming exactly what Jackson had described from his own memory. He didn't start a fight with Donald Trump. He just told the truth about a golf game. The truth turned out to be bigger than the golf game. Samuel L. Jackson looked at his bank account and laughed when Trump called him boring. That laugh was not a joke. It was a man who understood exactly what he was dealing with and had decided that engagement on those terms was beneath him. He was right about the golf game. Anthony Anderson confirmed it. The caddy story checked out. The receipt from Trump National was real. Commander-in-Chief arrived 3 years later and found the same pattern Jackson had described from memory: documented, sourced, and named. Move the ball. Deny it happened. Attack anyone who noticed. Jackson noticed. He said so calmly on late-night television. He produced a receipt, and then he waited for reality to catch up. It always does. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.